Good evening. I'd like to call the Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, May 9th, 2018 to order. Can we have a roll call, please, Mr. Alexandrovich?
Mrs. Witkowski.
Here.
Mr. Gamble.
Here.
Mr. Nielsen.
Here.
Mrs. Evans.
Here.
Mrs. Larson.
Here.
Mr. Lewis is excused, and I am here.
Thank you. And the meeting has been properly posted. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first item on the agenda is item 3, Anti-Tobacco Poster Contest Award presentation, and we have Ms. Juliana Mansky here, if you want to come up. Did you want us to come up with you, or? Yeah, okay.
Sure. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's see. Can you hear me if I put this down low? Yeah. I think that's fine. Okay, sounds good. Hi, everyone. My name is Juliana. I am a nurse at the Franklin Health Department. I've been with the city for about 2.5 years now, and it has been my pleasure to take over the tobacco prevention poster contest. So 22 years ago, it started off as a billboard contest, and now as we're modernizing a little bit, we've now changed that into a poster contest that is displayed at Showtime Movie Theater through the school year. So last winter, I came and gave a presentation to the 7th grade students about tobacco advertising and how those companies market specifically to youth. They know that children that start using their products become addicted, and 90% of current smokers started before they were 18 and it was legal to sell. So we have this tobacco prevention poster contest to help counteract some of that advertising and help that peer-to-peer education encourage other youth not to start using these very addictive and harmful products. So over 250 people, or just about 250 people, submitted an entry, and of those people, 9 were chosen as winners. Some of the judges were right here in this room on the school board. Others are part of the Common Council, community leaders like the fire and police chief, the mayor, some friends at the American Lung Association, or colleagues, I should say. So pretty prestigious people have judged these posters, and they were judged on their creative and unique messaging, their artwork, and really just their overall message for youth. So the stakes were definitely high, but I think we chose some really great winners this year. The students who created the posters and who have won are going to receive tonight a $100 gift card, a movie ticket to Showtime Theater or Marcus in general, and they'll also get a copy of their poster. They're this size for a little bit more ease display in your home, but if you want the movie-sized poster that are giant, you're welcome to come and get those the month after your poster is displayed at the health department. So the money that we use to fund this program is from the tobacco license. So retailers have to purchase a tobacco license to sell those products. And so this is one way that we give back to the community and in more of a positive way. So without further ado, we'll call up those winners, and it is my pleasure to announce those people. So when your name is called, you can come up to the front and get your certificate from Janet, and then come over and we'll get your poster and be able to shake Judy's hand. And when you get your poster, if you could just show it to the audience and then also walk around so the other members of the school board are able to see it. Okay, so our first winner tonight is Kendall Call, and her poster is going to be displayed in September of this year. So congratulations. Very good. Just walk around the side. Our next winner is Rachel McNeely. Good job. Good. All right, our next winner is Molly Soska. Great job. This is a perfect one for Wisconsin. Her poster will be displayed in November this year. Up next, we have Danica Minster. Danica's poster will be displayed in December of 2018. Next up, we have Sydney Davis. Sydney's poster will be displayed in January of 2019. All right, next we have Jenna Picar. Picar? Is that right? Jenna's poster will be displayed in February of 2019. Next up, we have Milan Nguyen. Is that right? Good job, Milan. Milan's poster will be displayed in March. Next up, we have Casey Griesmer. Casey's poster will be displayed next April. And last but not least, we have Ben Revelinsky, and his poster will be displayed in May, so 1 year from now. Good job. All right, so congratulations again to everyone, and thank you so much for this partnership with the school district. We're really fortunate to be able to continue this program throughout the years. Thanks for coming tonight.
Congratulations, and again, thank you for coming. And our next item on the agenda is item 4, the Ben Franklin Elementary presentation. And we have Mrs. Edivar and her students.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Edbauer and I'm the principal at Ben Franklin Elementary School. And this is Amanda Mix. She's one of my first grade teachers, and here are 5 of her kids. I'm going to introduce them and their names in just a little bit. But Ms. Mix and I wanted to share some things with you about what math learning is like at Ben Franklin and in the district. And so, is this okay if I kind of go like this?
Sure.
Okay. It'll be only a little bit awkward. Just a little. That's okay though. All right. So what I wanted to start off with is I talked to the other elementary principals, and I realized that people have been sharing different elements of the things that we've been learning throughout the school year, and I noticed math is not shared maybe frequently or as much. So what we wanted to focus on is the switch towards more flexible thinking, problem solving, getting kids really to think outside of their box when it comes to math. The goal is to create people who are problem solvers and critical thinkers who can take what they're doing and they can apply it to a variety of situations. Throughout the year at Ben Franklin, our teachers have been working really hard to develop math problems, resources, etc., that will really help drive kids' learning. So in addition to just learning how to do like 1 + 1 is 2, or 3 + 3 is 5, or this is a circle, I know like the perimeter of a square is whatever it is, 4 times the side. Anyway, instead of just having that rote knowledge, we really want to encourage kids to think, and from an early age. As you guys are going to see, these friends here are fantastic thinkers. we're so excited to be able to share that with you. Okay. So what the kids are going to do is they're going to kind of teach the school board members tonight a little bit about what it's like to do math. We're really excited. When the kids are using this language or when they're working on thinking strategies, in addition to just content, we're also talking about them doing all of these things. This is really concurrent with how you learn literacy. You should be asking questions. You should be thinking about like what's the most important idea or what's the most important part of what you're reading or writing or that thing. Working on knowledge. Like what do I already know that can help me solve this and move forward? Making inferences. So what do I have in front of me that can help me solve? What evidence do I have that I can put together to help draw a conclusion or infer something about this problem that I'm doing, this book I'm reading, and whatnot. Making mental models. Sometimes you'll see math come home that might look like a line with a whole bunch of jumps, that kind of thing. Those are the visual representations of a mental model that we're asking kids to do with math. So when you think about it, very rarely do I sit down and do like 12 plus 15 with the standard algorithm in my head, right? I might write that down. I might actually do 12 plus 15, thinking 12, and then I'm going to make a jump of 10 to 22 and another jump of 5 to 27. So encouraging kids, even from this young, to use those strategies in their heads to really solve problems. Monitoring for meaning, so what does this problem mean? Like, how can I interpret this? We actually ran into that when we practiced a little bit earlier today. I had a couple of friends who determined importance really well. We forgot to monitor for meaning. But then we figured out that we need to monitor for meaning so that we know we're solving for the right thing, right? Yeah. And then synthesizing. Taking the information, synthesizing it, putting it together, and having a conclusion. Let's go talk about it.
Okay. In general, we have a school goal for Ben Franklin that is focused on math. So during a lot of our coaching cycles that we do with our math specialists, a lot of us are choosing to kind of go the route of, we're calling it kind of flipping our math lessons into being more rich tasks. They're taking more of a process that the kids can go through and sharing that with each other so that they can see that there's many different ways to come to an answer. Maybe not every question only has one right answer. That's a big thing that we're kind of shifting away from, that we find that it's not so rote, so it lends to that flexible thinking. Really teaching those thinking strategies because, like Ms. Bauer touched on, those go from math, but we're really taking what they already know from literacy and showing them that those same thinking strategies can be applied in math. So that also kind of allows them to go back and forth with those. During my coaching cycle specifically, it was really nice to work with the coach and sit down and really take what are the goals of this lessons, what are the standards, and then how can we use more of a task, how can we design one that the kids can go through and use their flexible thinking to still achieve these same standards rather than do this warm up, do this math journal page, now check this math journal page. So it's just more, it's more natural. It's more real life applications and things like that.
So Amanda referenced working with a coach, and a lot of the work that the coaches have been doing, math coaches across the district have been doing, a lot of the staff is focused on Wendy Ward Hofer's work, Minds on Math. Some of the district, or I think it was 512 at the beginning of the year, had the opportunity to learn how to use a math workshop model, as Ms. Smith kind of described, to teach math. So using these really engaging, deep thinking problems to let kids work independently, experiment, discover, take risks, like work really hard in order to really solve that problem, persevere. This work is great. It comes out of the same place as the literacy resources that we use. And so like Leisha said, it aligns really well. The kids are using things consistently across subjects, and it's really fantastic.
I think the biggest thing for me that I've seen a shift in is just they're so much more able to articulate their thinking now, and I can step back a lot more, and they're really talking through it. Like, I noticed you did this, but I'm not understanding why. Can you tell me more about that? And they're kind of challenging each other to explain more rather than like, this makes, I don't get this, kind of thing. And they're talking through it and able to also correct each other, if they notice something and how to go about that. And it's okay to disagree. And so there's a lot of just real life problem solving too that they get to naturally come up against that they've been doing a great job with. So.
All right. So welcome So what our friends are going to do is, first of all, can you guys show the audience and show the school board members your math talk sheets? I want you to pull those out because Ms. Mix kind of talked about that, and this helps you in a couple of different ways. I'm going to show that. Dylan, can you do me a favor? Can you walk? Okay, so.
One more time.
Okay, we're going to explain these really well to me earlier today, but do you want to talk about it a little bit, Bryn? Yeah. Okay, so stand right here and talk, like you told me earlier how this helps you learn math, or how this helps you. Can you tell me a little bit more about that again?
You can just talk it
Yeah, just stop.
So how does this help you? How do we use this?
This math talk sheet, it helps you because if you did not have it, you could not respond back to your partner.
Anybody want to add on to that? Go ahead.
It's okay, you can just talk it. I'll pick it up. I know it's not here.
It helps us talk about what we did and explain what we did so that our partner understands and can learn from us.
I'm going to ask one really quick question, and then we'll get to the more fun parts. What do you like best about math, friends? You just go right down the line. Go ahead, Bryn.
I like math because we get to do rich tasks, and it's fun to solve them. I like finding out different combinations because then there's no one answer. You can think of as many as you want. I like math because you get to challenge your brain. I like math because there are awesome problems that challenge your brain and help you learn more. I like math because I forgot.
He enjoyed the challenge earlier today. Okay, cool. So, you guys ready? Yeah. Okay. They're going to work with a couple of adults to show them what they do with the problems. We know what the problems are, so we should be ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have them kind of pair up with maybe two adults. Is it okay to invite the rest of the audience to look on? If you would like, and you'd like to look on, feel free. Is that okay with you guys? And a couple of extra adults? Okay. Yep. And we'll maybe do this for about maybe like 3 to 5 minutes, so it's not super long, but people can kind of get a flavor of what they're doing in class. So, I'm going to work with you guys to grab your stuff.
3 of us.
Give a round of applause for our teachers. That would be great. Hey. First grade friends, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's the thing that you think you taught your adult about? What did you teach about? What was something that you know that they learned from you? Okay, I'll hold it in front of you and then I'm gonna pass it along, okay, so that people can see you.
How to do base 10 blocks. How to do different combinations. Combining each pounds together. We did the animal weight and we were talking about ones that were at least 60 and over one. We did one that was the cheetah and the rat. They learned how to determine importance from me. They learned how to do an open number line.
All right. Thank you, friends. So, do you guys have any questions for us? Okay, great. I brought
Pretty amazing.
experts. Right. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
And there's some cookies there for the students. if
Take
they
a
want.
cookie on your way.
Friends, if you want cookies.
And thank you, parents, for coming with your students,
Thanks,
too.
guys.
Thank you. Okay. Item 5 is community comment. Would anyone in the audience like to make a comment tonight? Is there anyone that would like to make a comment? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 6, approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Witkowski. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7 is school board announcements. Do we have any announcements tonight?
We'd just like to mention that next Thursday is our annual dedication dinner for our employees who are retiring or who have worked for us for 25 years, and I certainly hope you're all able to attend. It should be a really fun evening.
I'd just like to say that this morning, Dr. Miller and I went to a Chamber of Commerce breakfast, which any of us can go to if you'd like to. They're early, they're at 7 o'clock. And there were a lot of comments, positive comments made toward the school district. There was acknowledgement that our schools bring new homeowners to the community. That was made by someone in real estate. There were accolades for the performance of The Little Mermaid by someone that went there. Compliments to our capstone students for their presentation. I believe it was last night that they had a presentation about their presentations, their maturity, and how articulate they are. And then the executive director from the Chamber of Commerce, she praised the district for the foundation that her daughter received here. I think she said she just received 3 degrees?
3 degrees from
degrees.
Madison, and she's headed off to do a PhD in astrophysics.
Yeah. So she's just very happy with the education that her daughter received here, too. A lot of compliments to us today, which was really nice, and that just reflects on our students and our staff also with Staff Appreciation Week this week, so. Yeah, and then I'd just also like to mention to the board about 4th of July, coming up in July for the parade, so we'll be sending out something about that soon.
Can I ask how
Yeah.
the digital thing went? Was that last night?
Yeah, Dr. Miller was there and I was there, and,
Well attended, or?
no.
Unfortunately, there were about 25 parents who attended. As you know, we had to reschedule it because of the snow in April. And it is a busy time of year with track and field and baseball and a number of things, warm evening. We will do the program again in fall. So we'll get the word out and repeat the program, because the parents who were there did speak and did say they really thought it was valuable.
Is it grade school focused, or?
Every age.
It's every age. We do not recommend that children attend with parents, however, because of the mature content of the presentation, but it's for all parents, K-12.
Anything else? Thank you. School board calendar. We have a regular board meeting on Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018, here at the Education and Community Center at 6 o'clock p.m. and a regular board meeting Wednesday, June 20th, 2018, here at the ECC at 6 o'clock p.m. Item 9, reports and presentations and other school business. 9A, the Community Education and Recreation Department, survey results and presentation. We have Mr. Brad Anderson.
And Mr. Bill Foster
Yeah,
of School
Mr. Foster,
Perceptions.
come on up. Welcome. Guess we're gonna go back.
Seems like every time I come, there's always a weather event. So today was only rain and hail and a tornado in northern Milwaukee, so glad to be here. So again, I'm Bill Foster with School Perceptions. We're going to take you through the survey we did, and it's kind of exciting because it's I think this is our 5th community survey, and I see there's a pile of dirt behind us. Must be a new middle school being built. Is that the case? So this one isn't, it doesn't have anything to do with the referendum, rather it has to do with the Recreation Department, and it's exciting because, as I recall, these are some of the facts that went out in the survey. So it's your 24th year, you're approaching your 25th, and in just the past year, the district served more than 9,400 people, including over 5,000 youth. You've offered 1,380 classes and taught 1,875 children and adults to swim. It's pretty impressive. So this is really, the goal of this survey was to really kind of celebrate your 25th, as well as identify what you're doing well, identify areas to improve, and where you should maybe adjust or focus more resources. So that was kind of the scope and purpose of the survey. So the survey says what happened. We had just over 1,524 respondents, or almost 700 people responded via paper. It was a shorter survey. It was a 4-page survey. Who took the survey? We had 22%. I always am curious about the over 65. It was actually over 22% of our sample was over 65. And I think the 2010 census, that's the latest really good information we have you around 16.8%. So you're actually overrepresented with your seniors, and then your under 18s were not as well represented.
What was the response rate, did you say?
Good question. Boy, it was a while ago since we mailed. Do we know how many we mailed? I think it was about 13%.
13%?
Yeah, it's a little bit lower, but again, it's a narrower scope than maybe a community-wide survey for the sake of strategic planning or referendums. So again, the 65 and older group was well represented. And by the way, we broke a subgroup out. So we did carry the 65 and older as a separate group all the way through. So 22% of the sample were 65 and older. We had 86% of the sample live in the district, with 14% that do not, which raises the question, where are those 14%? And the answer is it's primarily staff, because we had all staff participate. So even if you didn't live in the district, then we really decided that the rec department is available to all staff, so they should be included in the results. We broke the staff out as a separate group as well. So we've got employees at 14%, parents at 53%, that's a parent who has a child under 18, and 47% who do not have children in the district. If they are a parent, we asked this question. We could cross-tab and desegregate the data based on their ages. So we've got birth through 3rd grade all the way up to 16 and 17-year-old kids. And this does not add up to 100% because you can have more than one kid. So you could have one in each group, for instance. In the past year, how many times have you been in a school district building? So again, this is all respondents. So you can see about a quarter of our sample haven't been, and then 3/4 have been in the buildings at least once. And then what impact do you believe the Franklin Community Education Recreation Program has in the community? Again, all respondents. 1% said negative impact, 6% said little to no, with a strong majority, 76% saying it has a positive impact, with 17% unable to evaluate.
I just have one quick question. A couple
Yep.
slides back, is zero, the percent that were never in our buildings, right? So does that mean they didn't ever participate, right?
They've not been in the district, haven't set foot in the district in the last year.
Okay.
So maybe they want to, or maybe they want to be involved with the program, they just haven't been in the last year. So then we go to participation. In the past year, how often have you or your family participated? So you can see the nevers. So Linda, that maybe goes to your point, is, never is never. That's more than just this last year. So we broke it out into all respondents is the blue bar, staff is red. So you can see even the staff, only 1/3 of our staff have participated. Parents, 28% have not, so the remaining almost 3/4 have participated at least once. And then the non-parent, non-staff, what we call the purple people, about half of those folks have not or never participated in a program. So then we asked, what programs and classes, if any, do your family participate in? So here we did all respondents, and you can see the percentages. We have the staff, the parents as a group, the non-parents as a group, and the 65 and older. And I should say, the first three, this is a little confusing. The first three, the second, third, and fourth, staff, parents, and non-staff, those are mutually exclusive groups, so you can't be in both. 65 and older is actually part of the non-parent, non-staff group. So again, we just broke that out because we thought it might be interesting to see what our seniors are interested in. It's sorted on all, but you can see that it kind of jumps around in terms of what they do. So sports is number one, fitness, wellness is number two, aquatics is big, before and after school, kids clubs, and all the way down to computers and other.
So if I'm looking at this, so this isn't kids, this is families, right?
These are families.
Families, okay.
But a parent could be representing their child.
Okay,
So
great,
that's,
just kind
you
of
know.
different about this.
So then we have a barriers to participation. So our goal is to maybe increase participation across all groups. If you don't currently participate in community education or rec programming, please tell us why. The number one was my schedules don't allow for participation. They're too busy, they're not interested, 31%. Then it drops down to 18, classes, programs are not offered at convenient times. And don't know what's being offered, 13%. I guess the instructors are well liked in Franklin because that was only 1%. Okay. Then we go to the facilities. How would you rate the space provided for classes and programs? You could be great, good, fair, or poor. So if everybody would have said we're great, we could be a 4. We can't get higher than 4. And we can't get lower than a 1, which would be poor. You can see really if we look at our non-parent, non-staff, they think everything is good except for maybe the locker rooms. Staff really doesn't like the locker rooms, 1.87. And really everything else is pretty good. The swimming pool is right around the 3, a little bit below 3, and the weight room was a little bit lower than that. And then we get to future planning. What should the community education or recreational department do? And then we had choices. We could expand a program, maintain a program, or reduce or eliminate a program. And again, here it's 3, 2, or 1, so you can't get better than a 3. And you can see that every number on every program for every subgroup is above a 2. So the conclusion is let's minimally maintain, and then as things grow above a 2, we should begin to explore expanding. So things like fitness, wellness could be expanded, preschool and youth programs could be expanded, and these are all pretty tightly clustered. Sports, aquatics, and enrichment, computers, those are all really, really close. So I guess the good news for Brad is we won't be cutting anything. People are pretty satisfied. New offerings. In which, if any, of the following programs and classes would you like the department to expand its offerings? And you can see, when we broke out the senior citizen activities, the non-parent, non-staff, which are about a quarter seniors, said yes, senior activities would be good. Open gym tested pretty high, certainly for our staff and parents. Parent-child classes, that was a little bit higher for the parents. And then it dropped a little bit with the daytime fitness and preschool classes. And then the question of when or timing, when would you like new programs and classes offered? Again, breaking it out for all the different groups. Evenings work well for the parents and staff. The seniors like during the day better at 51%. Or I'm sorry, 69% during the day. After school, early mornings, or other. I'm not sure what other, I guess other might be weekends. Okay. try to do a little probing into a particular subgroup in the past 5 years. Have you utilized our facility usage process to reserve space for a group or organization? Again, the majority of people said, no, I haven't. But for those who have used it, 32% of the staff, 17% of our parents, and 7% of our non-parent, non-staff answered this question: how satisfied were you? So you can see the numbers of each group. They're pretty small, 50 staff, 101 non-parents, and 37 non-parent, non-staff. Really rated everything quite well. This scale went from extremely satisfied to extremely unsatisfied, so you couldn't be higher than a 5. But really, everything came in around a 4. There were a few a little bit lower than a 4, but still way above a 3, which would have been an average score. When we tested overall satisfaction, how are we doing each of the following areas? The scale went from great, good, fair, or poor, a 4-point scale. And here it's all very tightly clustered and everything's above a 3. I guess there's a 2.97, so utilizing space that meets the needs of the class program just slipped barely below a 3, but all tightly clustered and all really good or better than good. And then overall, how satisfied are you? Here we've got your glass is half full. You can look at very satisfied and satisfied. Strong majority of all respondents. And really the unsatisfied and very unsatisfied, you might be at 5%, maybe 6% for parents. But those are pretty remarkable scores. So then the question is, what do we do next?
As you can see, there's been a lot of information gathered from the survey. As a staff, we've looked at it initially, but as a staff, we're going to address the suggestions to improve current programs. There's some things in there that we can look at right now and can probably affect change immediately. We'd also like to develop a long-term plan over the next 6 months to expand and improve future program offerings. We want to look at all that data that people said that they would like new programs, when it could be offered, times of day, and what facilities are available. Right now, currently during this school year, we're in the process of collecting all the school calendars for facility usage. That's what our department does. So we're taking not only all of the school calendars that are being created, the maintenance calendars, the recreation department, and then all outside groups, we lay that out to determine what the availability is. And that kind of dictates to us what we can use for future programming. And then lastly, we'd like to develop a long-term plan to address the availability of facilities for programs during preferred times. You can see in some of those slides that Bill had presented, there's definitely some subgroups in there with some specifically preferred times to take classes. Our goal over the next 6 months is to look at those times, the facilities that potentially are available for that, come up with a plan so that we can actually meet the needs of those subgroups better. So those are the things we're going to be working on now. We really haven't had a chance as a staff to delve into all this right away. We're going to really delve into it as a staff here coming up over the next 6 months, come back to you with our plan for the future.
So are you not really seeking any input or from the board at this time? You're just going to use your data, or?
Sure.
I just want to say, seniors we do have a lot of private facilities in the area, and seniors have that silver sneakers option, so they can access those facilities for, I think they're free. I'm not one of those, but maybe a
They're free.
retiree person could clarify. So I'm not sure, personally, I wouldn't see that we as a district need to duplicate that. And I just want to share that right now, because they have that option to go anywhere, and we have quite a few facilities in the Franklin area.
Yeah, I would just say that.
Unless we want to charge a fee, or,
Pardon?
unless we want to charge a fee and we would access, because obviously that fee is being paid, it's just being paid through Medicare.
Right. We've looked at senior programming in the past. There's definitely some things that we know we can do. I would never try and steal a program from another agency that's operating it very well. As a matter of fact, I'd like to help promote it. But there's also some seniors that probably don't participate in that program that could utilize another one if it was tweaked a certain way, offered at a different time. So those are the kind of things that we're going to look at.
What was the biggest surprise you saw out of the survey? Is there anything that stood out and you went, huh?
I think the biggest thing to us, really when the overall evaluation of all of the programs that we had offered, there weren't any that were being eliminated. I mean, you could look at the different subgroups in there, and you can say that people liked it and they were over the 2, so you're thinking, okay, they want a little bit more. The other thing that surprised me was all of the complaining we get about facility usage from the community, and there's individuals that do all of the facility usage booking for your select and travel teams that represent 300 or 400 families, complain about not having enough gym time. They want more gym time for practices. They want all this additional time and space. And when you look at how it was represented up there, the community was fairly good with how it was being doled out to the community. I think that kind of surprised me because we get so much complaining about gym space. And rightfully so. I mean, it's at 100% capacity. Those groups want more. When we looked at the numbers, it really showed that it was a smaller group that utilizes it, although that individual that puts that permit in is representing 500 families on a program. So they typically have one person scheduled for the entire league. So that was surprising to me as well.
I don't think we've ever worked with a district that has enough gym space, so I think that's,
And you said there was something you were going to implement, a couple things you said I could implement right away, then make some changes?
Right, we looked at some of the comments were open gyms. I've talked with Paul here coming into the fall, winter. We could potentially carve out some Sunday afternoons at the high school to run just an open gym for youth for basketball. We've looked at some of the senior programming options that we have for weekends. Maybe they went daytime. There's also proximity of parking, so we've looked at some of the options for the high school. So when you look at it, it's really kind of heavily loaded towards the high school. Some of the things we can't possibly address at this point, but as we look through the programming things that they put in the survey, there's some tweaks we can make to several programs, and then delve deeper into, are there other programs off of successful programs that people are looking to have?
Do you ever not run a class, or every class is run, that's in the book?
No, there's classes that don't meet the registration minimum, and we won't run a class at a loss, so they do get canceled. And typically we'll run it 2 or 3 times in the guide, and if it doesn't meet its minimum, we pull it for a guide, and then we'll rework the program. A lot of times it could be title, it could be the description, it could be the time of day. So some of those classes, you won't offer it in the summer, but you'll do it in the winter. So we do repackage some of them, but yeah, there's classes that don't run.
So when you see that chart with all the areas that you could offer classes in, there are some that don't get held, so.
Correct.
I don't know how they fall into that matrix, but
Yeah,
there's
those
some.
were the major headings. Underneath that could be 10, 20 classes underneath those. So I would say our cancellation rate is probably 10 to 12% on classes. It's not huge, but it typically ends up being some of the classes that would be, selling a house. Well, if you're not selling a house, you're not taking the class. And so we have a minimum for that, and if we don't hit that, but most of the youth programs that we run, or the parent-child or swimming lessons that Chris runs, those are at capacity with waiting lists.
You did provide a summary on some of the comments. I think I saw that. And there was some complaints about the high school gym. I guess I was kind of surprised that, maybe it's just the size of the gym. It's not really, the gym has been kind of maintained and is redone, right? So I'm not sure what they mean when they say the gym is inadequate. And I don't know if you.
Yeah, I think some of the frustration with the gym is that you can really only have one team practice in there at a time. So your JV and freshman boys and girls basketball are out in the elementary schools, sometimes practicing from 7:30 to 9:30 at night. So it is more the size of the gym, and you're tying up other facilities that could be used for community or for other teams, because you're having to take them out of the high school.
And how do you plan for the new big gym going up over there? How does that fit into your 6-month plan here? Or do you wait till that's up and then do your 6-month, or your long-range plan?
I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit down with the middle school administration over there and look at how they're gonna lay out their curriculum and their stuff that they're doing there, and see if there's a need for intramurals, if there's a need for things there to support what they're doing at that middle school before we take stuff from our department or the high school moves over there with athletics. We wanna give them a chance to actually put their stuff in first. So I've had initial conversations about getting together with them, and they're very supportive of that. So to put it, if you open this up to the community and the high school, would be full tomorrow, and you'd be at 100% capacity there
question about the pool, the comments on the pool. I'm aware that people are unhappy that our pool, the temperature of the pool, which I don't know if they understand why it's the temperature it is, because of our students and the sports. So is there something else that they're upset about with the pool? Because it's redone, so.
It's mostly the temperature, and it's
Okay.
during the swim seasons that the
Yeah.
temperature is, it's not ideal for the athletes. They want it at 78, we want it at 84. There's a compromise at about 81. So really, nobody's happy with it, because you've got to be able to do both programs in there at the same time. So it basically gets around the temperature of the pool, the water itself.
Right.
And then out of season, like now, the pool's been turned up to what ideally we would like. And you roll into the spring here in summer, and the temperature's up, 84, 85.
Okay. And I want to compliment the staff. The community seems to be very happy with everything you do, so congratulations on that. And then the senior travel program, you have to be 55 to use that, correct?
It's a city-run program. We advertise it in there just as a kind of advertisement for them. I believe it's,
That's what I think, it's 55. I'm just wondering how that fit into your over 65 when people were doing this. Because I think it is 55.
yeah, I mean, we've done some travel programs ourselves now. We run for 2 or 3, and those run. Our Chicago shopping trip has some seniors on it, but we do some other programs just locally here for them. But predominantly, that senior travel program that you see in there with going out to shows and stuff is run through the city.
Okay.
The aging department, or what department in the city?
I'm not sure. I mean, it used to be underneath the school district, and the city wanted it, the seniors wanted to go underneath the city. So they get the community development block grant money to help subsidize their trips. So I'm not sure who at the city is doing that, but it's tied through the Department of Aging.
Yeah, they don't get the block grant anymore.
No.
They just get 10,000 from the city, and Basil Ryan runs it. So.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I would also like to thank the staff for all the work that they've done and their just great results. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foster.
Yes, thanks for
The
coming.
sun's shining now, so. Much better drive home.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to item 10, school board liaison reports. We have 10A, personnel and policy, policy 5260, search and seizure. This is an action item. Mr. Nielsen, do you want to
Thank you.
kick it off?
Yeah, I'll kick it off here. I believe I was working with Judy on this policy, right? Policy 5260, search and seizure. There was just some small rewrites that were done on the policy, and then with some input from Mrs. Evans, there was some other rewrites that were put in there that I thought were good adds. So the first paragraph simply addresses those individuals who can direct or who can conduct searches and seizures, and then also at their discretion, they can direct other staff. So, like I said, there wasn't a total tear down, just a few adds, but if Dr. Miller wants to add any more to the policy?
So I did have this policy reviewed by legal, because it was really quite old, and I was not sure what had changed with regard to the law, and I think the last time it was reviewed was 2002, and things regarding social media and use of cell phones, which Ms. Evans pointed out she preferred to see in the policy, were not here. So I did work with legal on it, and we did include those areas. There are some very specific laws that pertain to how you can search a phone or someone's social media. That is not in this policy, but what we do is work with our administrative staff. We have the advantage of having Officer Pepperaki at the high school, so any search or seizure can be done with him present or by consulting him, because he, of course, does know the law and what can be done. So Do you have any questions about any of the language in the policy?
And I noticed that there was nothing in there for restrictions on the use of cell phones, like during classes and things, because that has nothing to do with search and seizure, right?
Right. So policy 5211 is student acceptable use of technology, and that does address some things related to use of personal devices in that policy. So it's not in this policy. So we're looking for a motion to approve the revised policy 5260, search and seizure, vehicle, locker, and student. Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gamble. Any discussion?
Just one follow-up question on the statement, students are responsible for the contents of their personal cell phones. You know, these are minors, so parents don't have a role in any, as far as what content might be found on their cell phone? Parents wouldn't have it, because they're minors. These students are minors, so they're not.
Can you just tell me where in the policy?
It's the
it is
last
to make
sentence
sure
of
that-
each, it's for cell
Oh,
phones.
students are responsible for the contents of their personal cell phones.
What's the intent?
So ultimately, if a student's disciplined, it's because they're responsible.
And
for
subject to discipline, okay.
Right. Subject to discipline, yeah.
The only other thing to point out would be on the copy that you saw, the top of the page, and it's been already corrected. It says Exhibit 5260, that'll read policy. And of course, this is page 1 of 2 and then 2 of 2.
When this gets moved to board docs, you don't end up with that same kind of header, but I keep a separate file of policies outside of board docs, and sometimes it's messy, but that's correct. This is not an exhibit. This is the actual policy. And then at the bottom, it states, "The district shall provide a copy of this policy to each student annually." Is that in the handbook? Yep, it's in the handbook. Search and seizure is addressed in the handbook.
Also, in the, further up, it's the third paragraph, or just before vehicles, that paragraph just before vehicles, it talks about the parent will be notified of the search, right? Or, so are parents notified if their kids' cell phones and social media accounts are searched? Parents are notified?
Just read that section carefully. Any illegal or unauthorized items found in a search may be removed and held by the school for return to the parent, guardian, or turned over to the adult student or parent, guardian, minor student shall be notified of the item removed from the locker or desk and turned over to law enforcement. So if there's something on social media or on the cell phone, they would be notified of that. It's the item that's found is what the parent would be notified of. Is that what you're asking?
Right, I mean, our parents, you know, if cell phone gets searched, the parents would know, right?
Right, they
Okay.
would know, yeah.
You tell them, we're searching your kid's cell phone.
The administration would inform them that we had
Okay.
this student and this was the reason and this is what we found or didn't find. Yes.
Is that clear in here, though? Because you added on cell phones and that at the end, and then you have searches kind of generally talking about things at the beginning of this?
And there's state and federal law they have to follow for cell phones. So most likely, the police are going to be involved anyway, so the parent is probably going to be notified anyway, correct?
Okay.
And
I don't know, I
they-
just
they-
trying,
Yeah, according to the Attorney General, cell phones may be confiscated if a student's utilizing the cell phone in violation of district policy.
I guess-
But your point is, do we let the parent know that's happening?
I don't know how cell phones are operating within the school, but if, I can imagine in the classroom, teacher might observe something with a cell phone, take the cell phone and say, show me what's on here. And
They can't just
Yeah,
do
they're-
that.
No.
they can't just do that.
No,
Okay.
they can't, not with a cell phone.
It says principals, associate principals, police liaison officers may conduct searches as part of their overall responsibilities. those are the only people identified as such. They can, and at their discretion, they can have other district staff conduct the search. But what you just described,
No,
would
not even-
not happen. And searches was a general term in this policy, and as it was read up for update, we wanted to make sure there was specific mention of cell phones and social media.
So maybe the title, it says vehicle locker and student. Maybe you need to include cell phone and
Well,
social
I would
media.
think that's covered under student. I would think.
And the locker and the desk are owned by the district, so they can be searched. Phone is not owned by the district.
Actually thought a lot about desk, because there aren't too many
Yeah.
desks anymore where you
Yeah.
conceal
Where you would
things
leave
in a
stuff, yeah.
desk, but there are compartments, I suppose, that, you know, are below a student where we should be able to search them.
Could you just remove vehicle locker and student? Could it just be search and seizure?
Sure.
Would
I
that
think
be
that
better
helps.
for you?
That would simplify it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Have to amend the motion then.
I'll modify the motion to accept as amended. Is that what you want me to put in? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Larry, you have the second.
Yeah, second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Then hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. 6-0. One absent. Okay. Thank you. Next, item 10B, board liaison reports. Do we have any reports tonight? Okay, and 10C, school visits. Any school visits? Okay. And move to 11, school board meeting debriefing. Any comments?
The students were fantastic. So
Adorable.
adorable.
That was good.
Sarah,
Oh, thanks.
for rounding them up.
Yeah, it was great.
We're so excited.
Yeah, they were really calm. Am I allowed to talk? Sorry, I don't tell that I'm like, there's one of my parents right there. Yeah, they were really excited and really looking forward to it throughout the day. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. I really worked on it. So thank you for letting us have that. It was really nice to be able to share that with all of you.
Even the Pledge of Allegiance was interesting.
Can we invite?
You slowed down a little bit
They
there,
set
yeah.
the pace.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Maybe we could invite students every meeting to just pop in and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then you can go.
That
We
takes-
offer a cookie,
It takes the parents to come with them, though.
right? So,
That's difficult, but they're always welcome. Yeah. Okay. Future agenda items, item 12. We have international trip approvals, and that's scheduled for May 23rd. If you want to write any of these down. 12B, communications audit report scheduled for the 23rd. And staffing report scheduled for May 23rd. District administrator updates and annual goals and performance standards scheduled for the 23rd in a closed session. And education for employment update scheduled for June 20th. And then a 4K program update scheduled for June 20th. And the Sabre Academy review report, June 20th. And the 2018-19 budget presentation, June 20th. And then we need to schedule a special meeting. Dr. Miller?
A closed session meeting of the board. It really should be a rather brief meeting that needs to occur prior to the 15th. So I'm wondering if the board could.
15th of
May?
May.
And only a quorum is required, but we have to have a definite quorum.
So I was thinking perhaps Monday, and with a quorum, we need 4 people. So we can be flexible about that time, but it really should be a very brief meeting.
Monday, we're already scheduled to be here. Is that Monday?
No,
No.
that would be.
The 16th.
The 16th, the Wednesday.
So I took the wrong one out, okay.
The other option
I'm
would be
available Monday.
Friday, but I don't think most people want to come on Friday, but Monday.
I'm not available Monday.
And what time are you thinking?
Well, the best time probably for all board members is probably the 6 o'clock time. But we could have it earlier,
And this meeting should last 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Friday works better than Monday for me.
That's why we're just going to look for a quorum.
A quorum
If we can get
I'm
a
gonna go on
quorum.
both.
You're gone on both.
I'll
A go, okay,
Oh.
wonderful.
Remember,
can
no,
be here
no
Monday.
life, I can.
Monday?
You
I can be
come by
yeah, I can come by on
at
Monday.
6 o'clock? Or
Sure.
would you like it earlier?
We can
Well,
do
if it could be a little earlier, I would prefer that, but 6 o'clock is
Okay.
fine.
Who can be here Monday?
There we go.
There
There's
we go, we have
quorum.
a quorum.
But it has to be definite,
No,
and we might get Mr. Lewis, we don't know.
Can I ask the topic, or?
You can ask, it.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, we,
it's a staffing topic?
right, it's a staffing topic that we need to take care of. If you recall, you had issued a preliminary notice of non-renewal. Yep, so
Okay.
we need to finalize any notices prior to the 15th. So I'm asking the board to come together and do that on Monday.
Monday.
That's why it's just a very short meeting, one topic.
And we said 6 o'clock.
Ms. Witkowski, would you be attending? Or
No, I cannot attend Monday.
Okay, so we could have that earlier.
So, did
If
you
you
want-
prefer, Mr.
You want
Nielsen.
5:30?
5:30?
5:30,
Debbie, what
Debbie?
time?
5:30?
I'll be here.
5:30,
Alan,
I
did you
might
say
can make-
5:30?
Sure.
5:30, okay?
And you said,
I might can make 5:30.
okay, as long as we have a definite quorum, if you can make it, you can let me know. And, okay, so Monday, the 14th at 5:30.
It'll be very brief, and I appreciate the flexibility.
Sure.
Thank you.
5:30.
So Wednesday we're here.
If for
Yeah.
some reason it is unnecessary, I will let you know, but please do plan on being there.
5:30.
5:30 on
5:30.
Monday.
And if you can't make it, please, it's
Let
going to
me
be
know as well.
posted, so we have to know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And are we still meeting on the 16th as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
6 o'clock?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is everyone here coming to that meeting on the 16th?
Yes, I'll be there.
Okay. Wednesday.
16th is Wednesday.
You gonna send something to Claude for the 14th in case? Or a general email to us?
I'll
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I'll see Mr. Lewis tomorrow. He's in the district,
Okay.
doing his visits, and he'll be here all day, so I'll talk to
Okay.
him about it then.
All right, then we're looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mrs. Witkowski. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 7:15.